There are 8 billion peoples out there in the world and nearly 1.5 billion of them speak English. This means 1 out of 5 people, or 20% of the whole world population. English is the lingua franca of our modern world, and it's even said that if you don't know English in modern world, you know nothing.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I'm not a native English speaker and I have a lot of mistakes, I admit that, but every single time, every single day I get better and better because I know how to work on English. If you want to understand what I mean, you can compare me with my previous videos, especially with my first videos on this channel coming from 5 months past or so. So, if we choose to suffer now, and if we try to choose the things which are going to make us suffer, it's going to be easier for us to deal with the future suffers. And I get better and better every single day because I know how to work on this language. I have some methods and those methods work for me as well as other people I know. And today I want to share with you those methods. And great thing about those methods is this. They are completely free and you don't need anybody else but you if you want to improve your English by using those methods. I assume that if you watch this video and understand me, you already have a pretty solid foundation in English, and the thing we want to do is building this language upon that foundation. Before I start the video, I want to send my thanks to my former English teacher and my Kami, the man who have taught me life by using English. And I will create 4 videos total, and these 4 videos will be an English learning or improving English series, and I will talk about all the components of English in those 4 videos. It includes grammar, listening, reading, writing, speaking, and vocabulary. On the first video, I'm gonna talk about listening and grammar parts. On the second video, I'm gonna talk about reading and writing. On the third video, I'm gonna talk about vocabulary at first, how we can memorize new vocabulary and what methods work, what methods don't work. And I will give you some methods you can use for improving your speaking without needing anybody else, just by yourself, completely alone. And on the last video, on the 4th video, I'm gonna give you an exercise, a method which will change everything for you. Just by using that method, you can improve all the components of English and become fluent in it. And in every video, I'll scatter some pronunciation tips for you, and by using those tips, you can improve your tonation and pronunciation at the same time. Those methods will be great also, so keep watching this video as well as the other ones. And every method I give you will have carryover effect on the other methods and on the other components of English. Every method is important, and let's dive in. This intro is enough, I think. So the first thing, our first topic is grammar. And I'm gonna be honest with you, studying grammar is important, but not that much. If your aim is being a professional English speaker, if you want to have a sophisticated English, or if you want to be an academic or so, yes, you need a solid grammar knowledge. But if your aim is being able to communicate with people every now and then, being able to understand English movies, songs, and being able to read something in English, you don't need to study grammar that much. Because when you work on the other components of English, especially listening and writing, you automatically get exposed to English grammar a lot, and most of the time this is gonna be enough for you. Still, you can work on grammar while you are working on the other components and aspects of English. And as I said, this is not so crucial. And still, I want to give you a method which you can use. At first, you need to understand you don't need to go to an English course, or you don't need to study from a book if you want to learn grammar. And let's be honest, studying from a book is pretty boring. And you can't learn a new language by studying from a book most of the time. If you want to learn grammar, there are a lot of great YouTube channels out there in the YouTube, and by using those channels, you can find answer to all of your questions, and you can have a proper and a solid knowledge about grammar. There are YouTube channels, as I said, and they give proper, structured, and regular English grammar lessons in an order. I personally use Oxford Online English YouTube channel. They have a playlist called as English Grammar, and when I have a question in my mind, I go there and I find answers to my questions. I will put the link of that channel to the descriptions, and I think you can go and check that channel out if you want to improve your grammar, and I think that channel will be more than enough for you. They cover everything in a great way, and just by working with that channel, you can handle grammar. So this brings us to the listening part. I can't say listening is important, but not that much, because listening is one of the most crucial aspects of English. And if you don't use your ears, if you don't listen, forget about learning any new language, including English. No ears, no language. And there are several methods we can use to improve our listening comprehension, and listening will have carryover effect on our speaking. As I said, if you skip listening, forget about it. So here are the methods. By the way, I didn't tell you this is gonna be easy. I wanna remind that. I told you this is gonna be free and this is gonna be alone. But this is not gonna be easy, because for 1 year, I want you to stop listening musics in your native language or in any other language, but you should listen just in English. For 1 year. I recorded this video in the December of 2023, and I'll release this video in the same month. And if you devote 2024 to English, and if you follow those methods, after 1 year, probably the people you know will be shocked when they hear your English. This happened for me, and I know this happens for other people I know. We are using and we are following the same methods. Devote 2024 to English and see what will happen. So for 1 year, stop listening music in any language but English. And while you're listening to songs, it's better for you to check the lyrics, because musics are not the easiest things to understand, their words and their sentences. And if you check the lyrics, you will understand them more. And when you're checking the lyrics, as expected, you will encounter a lot of new vocabulary. You don't have to check the meanings of that vocabularies, I mean all of them, but when you're curious about a new vocabulary, or when you're curious about what the singer tries to say in that specific sentence, you should go and check the meaning of vocabulary. In the next videos, I will talk about how we should learn new vocabulary, but for now, if you are curious about that, go and learn the meaning. And it's better for you if you are curious, because if you are curious, you will memorize that vocabulary more. And the other important method is, actually this one is more important, you should listen podcasts and you should watch podcasts in English at least 1 hour per day, every single day. This is so crucial. You can't skip this method. And I say listening podcasts and watching podcasts specifically. And if you wonder what is watching podcasts, for example, you are watching a podcast. This is important because when you are watching podcasts, you watch the people's mouths. And the more you watch people's mouths, the more your brain understands what kind of mouth moves you should have to produce those specific English sounds. And when it comes to speaking, when it's your turn to speak, you will have a better understanding of how to pronounce those sounds, because you already and unconsciously know the mouth moves you should make. And watching people's mouths will have carryover effect on you, as I said, when it comes to speaking. And the best time for listening and watching podcasts are commuting. If you drive the car, just listen a podcast. Or if you use public transportation, or if you sit at the passenger side, you can watch the podcast as well. And find out some topics interesting you. This part is also important because you just don't want to hear the English audio material, but you also want to give your attention and try to understand what's being said in that material. That's why I say find out some topics interesting you. Still, this is not enough. You want to watch series, you want to watch movies, and you want to watch documents in English without subtitles. Without subtitles, because same method goes for these things as well. You want to watch people's mouths when they're speaking. For example, you are watching my mouth right now, and when I say "and", you see how my mouth at first gets open and then it gets closed, like "and". And the more you see those kind of things, the more you will understand the nature of English, and it will easier for you to pronounce those sounds. And at this point, I want to give you a pronunciation trick and technique. This technique is called as shadowing technique. Shadowing technique refers for while you are listening an audio material, every now and then you want to imitate the exact sounds, words, and sentences told by the speaker. For example, you are listening an audio material and the speaker finishes her sentence like this. And this was the important part. Right after her, you should mimic the exact sentence and you should try to say the exact sentence by sounding exactly like her. Right after her, you should say, and this was the important part. And 2 minutes later, she will say something different like, I couldn't drink a coffee today. And right after her, again, you will say the same exact sentence and you will aim for sounding completely same and you will say, I couldn't drink my coffee today. This method will help you to understand the pronunciation of English more and more importantly, the music of English more. You will have a better tonation and you will understand at which times you should increase the volume of your voice, at which times you should decrease it, or how you should bond words together, or how you should finish a sentence, and so on. For tonation, pronunciation, and the music of English, this shadowing technique is invaluable. Use these methods and within a couple of weeks you will see the difference and you will see how more fluent you become and how more native you sound. As I said, listening part is so crucial and no ears, no English. Remember this fact. And I said it's better for you to listen audio material at least 1 hour per day, but if you can go for more, do that. Think yourself like a baby. Babies listen a new language, in this case, let's say English. Babies listen English. They get exposed to this language a lot for years over years and they try to imitate the sounds, words and sentences they hear. They make a lot of mistakes, but as time passes by, they correct their mistakes and one day they realize that they can speak English without understanding how did they learn it in the first place. And adults learn a new language in the same way actually. We don't have any difference in this topic and you can't learn a new language, you can't learn English from an English course, you can't learn English from a book, but you can only learn English by listening it and imitating the sounds you hear. And as time passes by, of course, you will correct your own mistakes as well, and one day you will realize that you become fluent. Simple as that, actually. And I don't know any other method in terms of learning a new language. If you know any other method, please share it with me as well in the comments down below, and I can execute those methods as well. So, this was the part 1 of those 4 videos. On the next chapter and on the next week, I'm gonna talk about reading and writing parts. To learn those information, keep following my channel. And as always, thank you for watching me in this video. If you like what I'm talking on this channel, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, share it with your friends and with your loved ones. If you have something to say, we can meet with you at the comments down below. By doing those things, you will support me, that's the obvious part, but this is gonna be beneficial to you as well because the YouTube algorithm will show you similar videos like this one. More educated videos, because I am recording an educated video in here. And you will learn many things from those videos and you will enjoy them later. Other than that, take care of yourself until next week and bye.